Hey there, welcome to the Uplift. We've got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, a man who received a life-changing diagnosis. It left him unable to work until he found people who knew how to help him restart his career. Also, a history-making athlete. Her traumatic brain injury ended her career. She writes a note to her younger self about overcoming what was the most difficult time of her life. Also, a man who's dedicated to helping kids awaiting kidney transplants. There he is. Plus, a trip to Barbie World. You've been waiting for it. Jamie Yucca shows us the history behind the iconic doll that has inspired generations. There's Dr. Barbie. All that and more heartwarming stories. You're watching The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift. We are the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. Who's me? Tony DeCopel. Good to be with you. We're going to begin today with a dad who thought his life was over after being diagnosed with a medical condition that made him lose his eyesight. Then he found people who could help him overcome those odds. Here's Caitlin O'Kane.
In 2005, Calvin Echeverria felt on top of his game. He had 2 jobs, bought a house, and was raising a 3-year-old daughter. But suddenly, it felt like it was all being taken away. He could no longer work as a FedEx driver because he was going blind.
At first, like, heck with the money, heck with the house we just got. I don't care about that. All I care is about my wife and my daughter. I'm like, how am I going to see my daughter grow?
After learning independent living skills, Calvin wanted to progress and learn skills that could be used in a job. That's when he found Lighthouse Works in Orlando, a company that creates jobs for the visually impaired and blind.
7 out of 10 Americans who are blind or visually impaired are not in the workforce. And we knew that people who are blind are the most highly educated disability group on the planet. And so very capable people who want to work and contribute. And so we created Lighthouse Works to help them do that.
Calvin says he was the first blind person he ever knew, but here, nearly half of the employees are visually impaired or blind, and there are several jobs designed for them, including working in a call center and working on a supply chain, building products for a variety of clients. Calvin works in the call center, using a system called JAWS to hear the computer he uses.
And that will crawl the platform and all the areas of the workflow, and it'll read into their ear where they are. However, they also have the customer in this ear. And the voice of the JAWS in many of our call center agents is going so fast that people like you and I don't understand what it's saying. I always say it's like faster than the voice at the end of a car commercial.
Calvin has gotten good at it. Really good.
Enter, context. BTS number letters. Enter, like numerous box. The movement, space, capital letter, enter. Like numerous box. The move, space, attendance. Enter. Attendance, 5, 3, number letter.
Since I used to see, it was very hard for me to listen because I was more visual. So everything of my learning skills now have to change now from visual to being auditory now. It took me a little while, but little by little, you know, if you want something in life, you have to reach out and grab it, and you have to work on it. So that's basically what I did.
At the call center, employees field important calls from a number of clients.
And what it makes it real fun is like, I'm talking to a person that has no clue that they're talking to a blind person. That has no clue that I'm able to do all the wonderful things in this computer.
Calvin says working in a fully accessible office space with people who can relate to him is an added benefit.
And it gives me a purpose, you know. It makes me feel better because I can actually be proud of myself, saying I'm able to provide for my family. I'm not just a dead sack of potatoes over there just sitting on the sofa, not doing anything.
His original worry was not being able to be there for his daughter. Now he's her mentor, and she's an employee at Lighthouse Works as well.
You know, when little kids come to your dad, you know, to their parents, and then all of a sudden, whenever they become teenagers, they go away and they hardly ask you. So now we're going back again to those days that my daughter used to come to me all the time, and I'm still feel needed.
Yeah, you still feel needed because you are needed. Caitlin, that's a lovely story. We're going to move on to another one. There are 2,000 children waiting for a kidney transplant in these United States, and one man is traveling the country hoping to find matches for at least some of them. Here's CBS Philadelphia's Stephanie Stahl.
Thank you so much. So glad to do it.
Brian Martindale knows all about emotional encounters here at Nemours with Gwen Anderson, whose son Jason needs a kidney transplant.
I really appreciate you coming.
Wilmington is Brian's latest stop in his cross-country journey to help strangers get transplants.
The trip is called Driving for Life, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Martindale was first inspired by this sign. A little girl, a stranger, needed a kidney transplant. He became the donor.
I can't see a child suffering when there's something I can do.
His mission is called Kidneys for Kids, traveling the country hoping to inspire others to do what he did.
You have a spare kidney. Your body can run on one just like mine has for the last 10 years. You see, I'm 61, I'm healthier.
Kidneys from living donors like Martindale tend to be better for transplant and last longer.
There are over 2,000 children waiting for a kidney transplant.
Dr. Stephen Dunn, the transplant chief at Nemours Children's Health, is hoping for more donors like Martindale.
And we're going to keep advocating until somebody comes forward for you.
It's unfathomable to me that there's people out there that really want to help kids like Jason.
The 17-year-old was born with a genetic condition that damaged his kidneys. He's been on the transplant waiting list for 3 years, now hoping Martindale's Kidneys for Kids will lead to the donation he's been hoping for.
I think it's wonderful, and I'm glad that we have people like him.
Martindale says giving the gift of life is beyond rewarding.
It is a life-changing experience that you will not experience anything like this in your life, as far as giving life to somebody else.
Coming up, before she was a doctor, astronaut, or businesswoman, who was Barbie? Meet some of the women who designed the iconic doll. A farmer in Minnesota has found a way to help others in the state by putting his goats to work. You heard that right. Here's John Lawrenson.
Come on, girls, come on. Come on, girls, come on.
On a farm near the town of Renville.
If there's stuff to eat on the inside, they're happy.
Garrett Hovland doesn't need a chainsaw or a tractor. He's clearing out this grove with goats.
So we got a couple of goats and started with that, and as you can hear in the background, we got a few more now.
Garrett is part of Goats on the Go. It's possible you've seen these animals eating buckthorn and weeds around solar panels in the Twin Cities. It's a concept Garrett was pretty sure would work in other parts of the state as well. The goats work fast. 40 of them can clear out an acre in 4 to 5 days. That's because they're more like browsers than grazers.
So they'd rather eat up into the trees. They're more like a deer.
If someone asks for their services, Garrett and his family round up the herd in a trailer and bring them to the site. They put up an electric fence to keep the goats in and predators out. It's like a traveling band with a big appetite. Is there anything they won't eat?
It's like burning weed sometimes. They don't eat as much, but then sometimes they do.
I was thinking another thing, but...
Garrett's wife, Holly, wasn't so sure about the idea at first, but now spends most of her summer days chasing 4 kids and 75 goats. The entire family gets in on the act.
Go find your buddies.
It was just a neat way to get to use what we have for another purpose of what they were created for. So I just thought, yeah, let's give it a try.
It's safe to say that goats in a grove are just as happy as pigs in mud.
We didn't know what to expect as we just started this summer, but it's been going really well, and we've enjoyed doing it as a family.
It's pigs in mud, as they don't say. All right, stay with us. Coming up, as the Women's World Cup continues down under, we shine a light on Briana Scurry, the first African-American woman elected to the National Soccer Hall of Fame. There she is. Stick around. You're watching The Uplift. The Women's World Cup is underway in Australia and New Zealand, so we are shining a spotlight on a history-making athlete whose dreams were almost dashed back in 2010 when she suffered a traumatic brain injury during a game. Here's Briana Scurry with a note to self.
Dear 13-year-old Bri, I have so much I want to say, but I want to start with what I love about you. I love that you are brave, probably the bravest 8th grader in all of Dayton, Minnesota. You don't back down from things because you are the only. You know what I mean. You are the only black kid in your whole middle school. You were the only black person and the only girl on that Pop Warner football team, and your first soccer team too. This only thing is going to follow you. By being the first, and for a long time the only, openly gay player on the U.S. Women's National Team, you will empower kids who are gay or struggling with questions about their sexuality. By being the only person of color in an otherwise all-white starting lineup for the U.S. Women's National Team, you will send a powerful message to young black and brown girls. You can do this too. Never let anyone set limits on you, and never let anyone else define you. You are the youngest of 9 kids, coming along almost a decade after your next nearest sibling. Your mom is your heart, the songbird who sings hallelujah around the house and teaches you about kindness, generosity, and empathy. Your dad is your mind, the tinkerer, Mr. Fix-It, who teaches you the value of hard work and logic. When you were 8 years old in 1980, you were in awe of the U.S. Olympic hockey team. And you made a sign that said one day you were going to be an Olympian too. Remember how your parents responded? Go for it.
Playing it back, Daniela fires a low shot. Scurry has it, no rebound.
Headed by Prince, great save by Scurry, headed back in. Scurry gets it clear. Scurry's made a marvelous save.
You will fulfill those Olympic dreams, winning a gold medal before a packed stadium in 1996.
And the USA are world champions once again.
You will become a World Cup champion 3 years later.
Briana Scurry.
You will make one of the most iconic saves in U.S. soccer history in that game.
And she saves! Advantage USA!
Though afterwards, the network TV camera will quickly pan away from you so as not to show you hugging your girlfriend. I guess they thought the world wasn't ready for that. Something else the world won't seem ready for: the fight for fair pay. Right before the 1996 Olympics, you and 8 teammates will refuse to sign your new contracts with U.S. Soccer because of the stark pay disparity between you and the men. It will be the first step in a decades-long fight for gender equity that will culminate in a historic equal pay agreement with U.S. Soccer. For all the remarkable highs you are going to have, you are also going to experience remarkable lows. You will win a second Olympic gold medal, but that sadly will be achieved with the heaviest of hearts. Not even a month before, your dad will die after a long illness. Part of you will feel totally lost, and you'll think about never playing soccer again.
Another shot saved, Scurry!
But you will step on the field and help your team win gold.
Send it to the corner, that's it! USA have won the gold medal!
Because he is still right there in your heart. Then another low. You will suffer a traumatic brain injury after being kneed in the head during a game, and it will end your soccer career. Not only bringing horrific headaches and physical pain, but the darkest time of your life.
Drowned in a dream that should have made me stronger.
Once a world-class athlete, you will struggle to walk 100 feet. You will be unable to work and face terrific financial hardship, and it will get so bad that one day you will do the unthinkable and pawn your Olympic gold medals. You will wonder if the ordeal will ever end and if life is worth living. But listen up, girl. You have nothing to worry about. You know why? Because your parents raised a resilient daughter. Because you are as much a champion off the field as you are on it.
I have the dream again, I have the
will wind up getting an experimental brain surgery that will alleviate your pain, and you will become a tireless advocate for people suffering from traumatic brain injury. I sincerely hope that my presence here today will inspire increased awareness, understanding, and assistance. Along the way, you will also meet the most important person in your life.
There is gold in this river that is carrying me home.
Her name is Chris Azizos. She will help you get your medals back, but she will also wind up being the love of your life. You will have a beautiful home, a soulmate, a family. Never doubt how strong you are, Bri. Whatever you go through, whatever fears and doubts may arise, know that you will prevail. It's who you are, it's how you were brought up. And it's why you will go to Washington, D.C. one day and you will see yourself in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture. It will be a testament to the far-reaching impact of your life. It will also be a testament to your bravery. You know why? Because you don't go from being the only to the Smithsonian any other way. Love, Briana.
One of our all-time best note to selves. Thank you very much, Briana. Coming up, as they say, she's everything, but who helped make Barbie, the stylish doll with multiple careers? Meet some of the women who designed the iconic toy. The new Barbie movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling is a massive hit, already raking in an estimated $1 billion globally this summer alone. It's the movie that also led to a rise in Barbie core. What is that? That's people throwing Barbie-themed parties and wearing pink in honor of the doll. But where did the doll get her start? Jamie Yuka shows us the history of Barbie.
This is the fashion that got me hired at Mattel.
Take a walk through Carol Spencer's home.
I have over 350.
You have more than 350 Barbie dolls
in this room alone.
And you just might think you're in Barbie's dream house.
That's my first design that was accepted for the line.
Spencer, a spry 90 years old, spent 35 years as a Barbie fashion designer at Mattel.
It's really a wonderful feeling. I think of every child that played with the Barbie doll as my child.
The very first Dr. Barbie in 1973 was her vision.
Most of it, doctors, surgeons at that time were all men. And as long as we were exploring careers for a child, I thought, why not?
Did you even at the time realize what impact Barbie would have on children?
No, I didn't realize it at all. Barbie, you're beautiful.
Since bursting onto the scene in 1959, Barbie has given kids the chance to dream about their futures.
I'm going to be a doctor just like you.
Having more than 250 careers.
Astronaut Barbie.
She was flying through outer space as an astronaut 18 years before Sally Ride made the trip.
The Barbie dream house.
All while living a life of style.
This independent, strong female role model in Barbie that owned her own house. And not only that, was rocking millions of careers.
Lisa McKnight is the executive vice president and global head of Barbie at Mattel.
That was really progressive at that time.
It was very progressive at that time, and you think about the context of the 1950s, women couldn't even cash their own checks.
While many toys for girls at the time focused on caring for children, Mattel co-founder Ruth Handler saw opportunity.
She was the one who was the sales genius, the marketing genius.
Biographer Robin Gerber says Handler tapped into a feminist movement.
Little girls were asking for other kinds of Barbies. Well, they started to want Barbies who actually had careers, and that has, of course, blossomed to everything you could think of.
By the 90s, the New York Times calculated 95% of all American girls ages 3 to 11 had at least one Barbie.
I'm tour guide Barbie.
And she appeared everywhere from movies
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie
fashion music videos. But over the years, Mattel has addressed criticism that the doll was sometimes out of touch or contributing to unrealistic beauty standards, especially after a 2016 study found that young girls who played with the traditional Barbie doll had more dissatisfaction with their bodies than girls who played with curvier dolls.
We were hearing playback from parents and focus groups that they didn't see Barbie as a role model. There wasn't a lot of depth behind the brand.
Barbie's creators made efforts to expand her reach, unveiling dolls of different races, body shapes, and sizes.
Barbie has had such an evolution. I can't help but notice right away, wheelchair Barbie.
Yes, we are so proud of that doll. It's so important for kids to see themselves in the doll and to have that representation, but also it's really important for kids at a young age to learn about empathy.
And at the World of Barbie in Santa Monica, California,
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Love-a-fastic, tastic.
you can see the empathy and inspiration on full display.
I found an astronaut. Yeah, that's me. I'm going to be an astronaut when I grow up. These look like different country Barbies.
They are.
Well, she's going to continue changing as we change.
Carol Spencer, who spent decades bringing Barbie to life, knows the doll's impact will continue for generations.
You know, Ruth Handler said at one point after she left Mattel, it's amazing how so many different children love Barbie in many different ways.
What are those different ways?
Some love playing with the doll as for the careers.
So many people love her for her fashion.
Mm-hmm.
We have you to thank for that.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it.
The world enjoyed it as well. That is our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brightened your day, it lifted you up. If it didn't, you can press play again. Little known fact, no charge at all. Meantime, I'm gonna go find some more good news. See you next time.